But he has quite a few games on the champion. So if we're talking about skill expression, he'll definitely want to show off.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Think we've got everything there set up. So now both teams, are they going to look for 5 points? You would imagine so. Yeah, Loftition and Denzel just going to say hi to each other in the mid lane. In fact, I think everyone's just going to say hi to each other. Falio just on the edge of that bush. I think JK knows though. And yeah, I think they're all just saying hi, all posturing around each other. Falio is spotted though. Just about jumps over the wall though.
Oh, Pink's coming out to maybe invade the blue buff on the side of Invul. We'll see if Gwen checks this or knows that they're there. They could see the Riven and the Zin, but not much else. As I was going to check this bush as Faleo is there. But Denzel is close by and Conqueror procced, and Faleo doesn't want to go too hard here as Denzel is just hanging about the wall. They're trying to bait him into it, but Faleo, no, yeah, that maybe something's going on here and just decides to back off.
Yeah, although he is going to be seen. He does go a little bit too far. The Audacious Charge, I think it's called, coming out, and Invul do know that the blue buff is being taken, which is quite big, I think.
Mm. Gwen did have to pop her pop really early though, as
Yonseni is coming onto the buff though. He is going to he's going to be there. And
he
doesn't
the red
quite
buff.
get it though.
Flashing forward and just missing up the blast plant. But Gwen coming down now, gonna dash in, gonna get a few autos onto the Zin, but I don't imagine they'll be able to do much as Zin and the Riven both have Flash still up, whereas Invul, neither of them have flashes. The stun will land and Flash does have to be burned.
What time are you, by the way, right now? Are you 2:25? Just turned?
2:22, 2:23, 2:24.
Okay. Can you just move about 5 seconds ahead? Just because I think you're on a slight delay. If you can't, I'll stream it.
No, I can.
Yeah, okay.
I can move a bit forwards. I'll let it load quickly. I'm currently on 2:43, 2:44.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Apologies.
It happens. The spectator isn't absolutely perfect. So yeah, interesting kind of series of events there. I think it probably works out realistically in Invul's favour though, as even though Xin Zhao did manage to get the buff, having to force a flash and missing out on a decent amount of time.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of trades happen in the early game up in this top lane. Is definitely something that Loftition does have in this matchup. They didn't have much last time. Is one flash or ignite used for Gwen onto Riven and able to pick up with that hefty last auto. The ignite definitely coming in clutch there, and seeing why you maybe take that in the top lane. Zal did have flash up, but maybe didn't expect to take so much damage from the empowered Gwen auto there. And Faleo able to pick up first blood in the top matchup is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that is such a brutal first blood as well. You think Zal JK was so close, but the ignite coming down just enough, along with those last couple of autos by Falio. And we're gonna
Mama landing a hook onto Zarya. Hellman maybe looking to follow up, but the feathers are there. Maybe dangerous if they can get the root. The feathers recalled, none landing. Is just a little bit of trade going on in the bot lane. This time it is definitely, Invul is definitely being able to play the game a lot more in the bot lane and not being shoved so hard as they were last time.
Yeah, Loftition TPing quite early, but does already have a little bit of a CS advantage. That's going to grow quite a bit considering where the wave is right now for Loftition.
Yeah, for sure. And so something I saw as well in this matchup that maybe isn't just so simple as melee again in this matchup is having the Aurelia W to I think in the changes they made it so it reduces a lot more damage. I think it makes it so that she's able to, when she sees LeBlanc dashing onto her, she's able to easily have a safer option. I can't think of the words there. I stumbled over my words a bit, but much more has a much safer option to be able to deal with it rather than just trying to get the E in the Q to try and heal up afterwards.
Vanir being pushed in quite heavily, and the Xin is here as well.
Looking for a dive, but Zal's taking a lot of damage here from the tower as Younger looks to go back in, but also chunked down to half as Flair is just going to comfortably sit under the tower at half health as two members both being chunked down to half health. They're still looking to maybe apply pressure here as the Invul jungler is nowhere near, but they're not going to be able to do anything, and this just means the Flair is able to escape basically completely free as Invul try and maybe look down bot. Lots of pings coming out.
Yeah. And that was three members of Vanir up towards the top lane. LeBlanc having to use TP to get back into lane as Loftician had really effectively pushed the wave in, and this might be a free dragon. Kind of a very switched game compared to the first game. Early dragon going the way of Invul instead of Vanir.
Yeah, we did see that Gwen was able to catch the Xin on a ward moving into the jungle, so they do know that the Xin is there and going for the ping. And he needs the blast bomb to land onto it. Level 6 against level 4. Beautiful sidestep on the Xin poke there as Flair's going to move back as the Aurelia is coming round, but just going to back off, able to exit free, but Flair still doesn't have the TP.
If Xin misses, wind becomes lightning, a lot of the potential damage does get taken away. And when you've got the mobility that Gwen does, even just those small dashes can really make a big difference in a 1v1 trade.
Definitely, we're seeing a lot of hooks land onto the Braum here on the bot side, but definitely not able to burst down the Braum as he is a bit of a hefty man with his shield defending Xayah, making sure that no hooks have landed onto her just as of yet. We'll see if Thresh is able to land one of those soon.
Interesting. A big CS lead already, 55 to 37 in the mid lane. It will slowly go back down though as the one is in lane. Zalshake in a slightly off position, but he'll be fine.
Oh, displaying Riven's movement a lot there, able to easily just run away from the Volibear stun and not able to get much, but does mean this time at least that Volibear is going to get his own blue buff rather than have it taken away. And
very, very close in terms of gold. Only about 100, just probably about 150 in favour of Invul. Nothing to write home about at this point.
Yeah, the only other slightly that Invul have is they do have the first Drake this time, which they didn't pick up any of last game, so already looking much better than last game on that front at least, as we do see lots of things coming out for the objective. Maybe looking to play around the rift holes. They do have pressure on the top side. Zal spotted on a control ward. Aurelia tries to stun, but able to just move out as Invul maybe looking towards the top side as Armor lands another hook, but falling onto the Braum means that they aren't going to be able to get much done.
Yeah, I quite like the Braum pick into any hook champion, as the Braum is just able to jump in front of the Xayah with the stand aside.
Over side landing. Beautiful flash ult onto them, meaning they're able to easily... Very nice in ult as well, pushing him back. Going to be able to pick up both kills, but trade 2 for 1 in the bot lane. But the kill going over to Thresh is not what you want if you're on the side of Invul. Very nice ult from the side of Vanir there on the Xin, meaning that Vayne was pushed all the way out of tower after a beautiful flash ult that rooted up the Thresh.
Yeah, essentially an insect, realistically, and that is such a powerful tool in the arsenal of a Xin Zhao.
It was very beautifully played from the Xin Zhao there, meaning they're able to get a nice play on bot and answer back some of the pressure that has been applied from Invul early and actually get themselves a little gold lead.
What we did miss though is that Yonsony, while that was happening bot lane, picked up the Rift Herald uncontested and has got that picked up. Has to use the, I think it's Stormbringer, defensively the ult, but he will be fine.
Riven ulted as well to just try and clear them out, but Denzel now a decent HP lead in the mid lane, evening up this CS a bit more, even though the wave is about to just crash into Aurelia.
So it's a very, very close game in this early period. Just cresting the 9-minute 30 mark. And yeah, it's splitting hairs, realistically, how close this game is currently. Every trade has been answered very effectively by both teams. Now, there's a slight experience advantage though for Denzel. I don't think it's particularly huge, but it's enough that I think Loftician may have to be a little careful in any trade he makes, just by just by that extra level right now. Yeah. Johnson picking up his own red buff as Jungel picks up his blue. And it does seem like right now, as Dragon is spawning in about 45 seconds, 40 seconds, that Vanir have a bit more pressure. They will have all of the vision put down, and I don't think there's too much that Invul can do at this moment in time about that. The Jhin is waiting in the wings, maybe potentially looking for another gank bot lane. Mama is still level 5, so it doesn't quite have the ultimate, which could be a big difference if Vanir go for a dive. He will level up to 6 now, he will have the bots. Invul, I think, may just have to give this dragon up though. It is spawning, has just spawned now, and I think Invul, they've realised they don't quite have the position. They will happily leave that one alone. They don't want to take an awful trade. I think that's definitely the right call.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of pings coming out to the top side. Volibear maybe looking to answer this by going top and using the Rift Tower, but we do see the Aurelia going onto LeBlanc by getting a solo kill as the rest of Vanir is now trying to collapse onto Loftition after trying to go in for the trade there. Xin all going to be used after the Brawn passive is popped, meaning they are able to trade back, but 3v1 picking up a 1-for-1 there is not bad for the Aurelia, especially when you were getting pushed in, but very nice stun there, meaning they're able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, but while 3 were mid lane, Volibear path top with Rift Herald, and that is first turret gone, and a second charge. So that is a huge amount of damage put onto the turret. And that is a really effective trade by Invul there. A lot of gold just went to Falio and Yonsene. And
yeah.
Falio will probably nearly have enough gold to get components for Riftmaker potentially.
Denzel behind on the flank here. Thresher gonna go wide. Denzel caught up here, but
TP from Aurelia.
Mamo getting caught off as Aurelia stun's gonna land. Doesn't have the ult, has used it previously. Gonna land lots of Qs though. Gwen managed to get on a bit of damage here. The clone being attacked. Gwen ult coming out onto Young Girl, getting burst down. Huge damage coming out from the Gwen. Now back onto the Riven. Riven may be able to get away with the great movement that she has, but Gwen chasing down. The E should be off cooldown soon. Aurelia going to do it to jump away, but the E is going to not cover enough distance. But even looking to pressure this tier 2 tower now, and with the changes to the amount of gold this gives, they could be huge. But you have to be aware that Denzel is still on the flank, looking to maybe get a pick off here.
Yeah, with the corrupting potions, actually healed a lot. So it was about 50% health. Now is much closer to full at this point. Denzel just going to waste as much time as possible. I feel like Invul should just let this go, but he will get out, I think, here. Yeah.
Yep, that is a LeBlanc. I remember very fondly words, just never chase the LeBlanc. She is very, very slippy and able to just slip out of the clutch of 3 Invul members there, as it is very hard to catch someone who has 2 teleports. Arguably 4.
One of the most ridiculous champions for highlight reels, in my opinion. You see people like in the old days of League, Sif HD, just trolling people essentially with the jumps, with the teleports that LeBlanc has. Now, with 4 kills apiece, but the gold lead is just in the favour of Invul. Khaled's taking a decent amount of poke damage though from Hellman. The ult having to be forced as well.
Yeah. Noticing that there were a few members missing is Loftition are going to land another stun onto the Blanc. Going to follow up the ult, but there is 3 members currently here. The fresh over the wall, the hook goes wide. Loftition is getting low now as the rest of the team is here to follow up. Volibear is here to land the E onto Young Girl's Vayne is now here, forcing the Xin to flash over the wall. Going to keep chasing down. Dodges the wind becomes lightning, trying to maybe get a bit more here, but both teams managing to walk out with no kills going down. Just a few summoners burned from each side as once again a good stun landed by Loftition. It means that Vanir were pressured there and had to come and back him up.
Yeah, that was really good pressure by Invul and definitely taking the better trades in this portion of the game. I will say that it's pretty close in farm all over. It's realistically, there's not one team who's really ahead. The Xayah again though, Flukes really taking as much farm as possible. Yonsei having to potentially give up this Rift Herald though. I don't think he can take it, and this will instead go to Vanir.
Yeah, 3 members of Vanir there to back up against the 2 Invul members means that they do have to push off, as Mama going to have to burn the box here as he is getting chased down. Floop's going to come up, not able to put the stun just yet. One more hit will do it. That Q will definitely land, and Hook going to land onto the Xayah, but it probably is a little too late as Mama falls, getting beaten up by the Krugs a little as the Ignite ticks down, but going to be able to walk out safely. And very nice catch there from Kralex, Xayah able to Gale Force in and catch up from a pick, as Helmon now might be in danger himself. Q gonna land, Ult gonna land as well, meaning force out the flash as they dive into the tower as proc the passive as Braum is tanking up tower. Helmon able to survive a little bit longer, but not for much longer at all, as Floop's able to go for the tower dive on the Vayne as she is alone. And once again, Kralex just punishing the overstep from Invul.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit silly from Helmon. He knows that it's such a powerful duo, and that is going to be the Rift Herald pops. That is going to be another turret for Vanir. Sorry, the first turret for Vanir. As that falls, Zalj in a bit of trouble there.
Stun gonna land. Both ults used, and Zal just gets obliterated by the Aurelia and Gwen ults as they are taking the Drake down bot, but they have to answer topside as the tier 2 is gonna fall, and that'll be a decent amount of money into the pocket of Aurelia and Gwen, both picking up 300 gold apiece. That's basically a kill each, and that is a decent answer to the kills on bot.
May try and look for this dragon.
Gonna go for the ult and the smite, but not able to steal it, but able to safely get out afterwards with the Thresh Lantern. Nice attempt and good use of the Thresh Lantern, but just not able to secure it, as that will be the second Drake for Vanir.
Yeah.
And
I think that was the best Yonsei could do realistically. Like you said, very good use of the Thresh Lantern. Unlucky not to get the smite, but well done to Vanir, well done to Jungle, to getting that second dragon. And it is Cloud Dragon, so maybe not as exciting and flashy as Infernal or Ocean Soul, but still very, very useful, particularly on, I think, the LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc will be even slippier. I mean, however you would say that. I mean, but the movement speed on the ultimate is going to be absolutely ridiculous, along with the positioning that Xayah will get with Featherstorm as well.
Okay, we're seeing Loftish go for another trade hit onto Denzel. Does land a stun, and the W afterwards means they're going to take hardly any damage. Denzel has to jump out as Loftish definitely this game, making sure that Denzel isn't so easily able to just roam the map, as anytime he catches him with a stun, Denzel's under a lot of pressure. We're seeing Riven able to just walk out there, but something I was going to mention, if maybe we have a tiny bit of time, is that we're kind of seeing a similar game plan from both teams from last game, in the sense of, not a similar game plan entirely, just in the sense of Invul's playing towards their top and mid, whereas it seems that Vanir are more so playing towards their bot. We see almost a 2k gold lead coming out just for the ADC alone. Also a 1000 gold lead for the Braum as well, as he has picked up 2 kills himself. But both Gwen and Aurelia winning out in their respective lanes, so it'll be more interesting to see these team fights and how they're able to play together, and how both teams are able to use their carries in these team fights. And if Hellman can maybe come back a bit, is landing the passive onto Kralex there, but the Braum shield means he's going to take hardly any damage from the second one.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing about Vayne that even though Braum is so tanky, it doesn't really matter when percent max health true damage is being put onto you.
Denzel landed the chains. They're going to W it, but Loftish does not have much mana, but it might not matter too much when he does have the passive up and running. Zin coming down. TP going to come out, meaning that Denzel has to get out of there, and TP used as a nice little deterrent to make sure that Loftish is out safely. But if you're on the side of Vanir, you're going to take that trade. You maybe weren't going to be able to get that kill anyway, as Zin was quite far away, so pulling out the TP there from Gwen is enough for Vanir.
Yeah, and particularly when Baron is up in 40 seconds. That is something as well to think about, that without a teleport, the Gwen has to stay around topside. Will not be able to split bot realistically.
Oh, maybe in a bit of danger here, as the chains will land. The W not going to stop that, as LeBlanc was in the zone as well, as The mid tower looks like it's getting pressured here as Hellman maybe has to be careful. The Lantern gonna mean he can get out of the way, stun the Braum into the wall as Mama's able to drop the box. Hellman doing a good job here of keeping enough damage onto them, pushing Vanir away, but not gonna be able to get much more as Braum is chunked out, but able to walk away safely.
So 20 minutes gone. Obviously Baron does come up, but it's so equally poised that I don't think a Baron will be taken for quite a while, realistically. I think it's going to be so risky for either team to worry about Baron for a while.
It doesn't look like either of the teams are going to want to be burger flipping a Baron anytime soon. We'll be seeing maybe some fights towards the Drakes, but even so, neither team on Soul Point just yet, and it is a Cloud Soul, so we're going to see both teams sat in the side lanes trying to pick up their gold on their carries and get ahead for the next team fight as the chains are going to land, but this time able to use the W effectively to mean that they don't go through. Everfrost's going to go wide as well, as Gwen is maybe in a bit of danger here as Denzel's pushing forward.
I have to admit, from playing against Gwen, I am sick of seeing Gwen is immune. It's not a fun thing to witness when you're trying to do any sort of damage and you see that W go up. It's so aggravating. But like we said previously, when there's a Ribbon and then a LeBlanc who are able to dash in and out so effectively, you won't actually see that pop up as often, just because they're able to get inside that zone very effectively. So, a bit of a breather. Both teams are trying to get their farm, get the vision as Dragon is about to spawn. 10 seconds now for that second Cloud Dragon.
Looks like both teams are maybe looking to fight here as Hellman does pick up the red buff. Invul, both teams have 5 members here if they do want to go in. Aurelia is picking up the mid wave, but she is slowly on the way as Zaya picks up the control ward. Marble may be looking for a hook. The hook's going to go wide. Kralek's able to get the Q onto it.
Riven is behind as well here. This could be interesting. Invul kind of giving up. I think they have to give up. Dragon, they do not have the position, they don't have the pressure. And that does give Vanir their 3rd dragon.
Yeah, Vanir able to get the early positioning in the river, meaning that they're able to pick up that dragon quite easily. And with Zhao on the flank, it was very hard for Invul to do anything there, as if they did go in, Zhao would come in and collapse on them pretty hard. So very well played and good positioning from Vanir there to make sure that they secure that 3rd Drake, putting them at Soul Point.
I mean, like I said, it is Cloud Dragon, potentially not the strongest, but it is still very strong when you think about the amount that it changes the cooldowns of the ultimates. And I think particularly on someone like Zaya, that is so crucial. Her safety and damage is very reliant on that ultimate to be able to reposition effectively, counteract the engage from the Thresh and the Aurelia, the Volley Bear. And when that is on a much lower cooldown, the windows of opportunity for Invul are so much lower.
Yeah, we're seeing there's Floops once again amassing a huge CS number and a huge gold lead against Hellman here, as Vanir do have the slight gold lead, and that is mostly down to him once again being sizably up against Invul, and yeah, doing has over 100 CS more than anyone else on his team, and that's crazy, basically.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's been a masterclass in terms of CS and understanding of the game, really, from Floops in both games so far. I mean, nearly 300 farm, and it's 24 minutes. It's very well done by him. He's just been able to manipulate the waves and manipulate the game very well to pick all of this up.
I think it's very much down to a big assistance. Oh, okay, Denzel gonna try and land the chains onto Hellman, able to safely roll away, but see if Invul were looking to catch someone out here. Gwen spotted by the reveal as Invul are getting slowly pushed out of this river as Vanir want to take control of the vision in it, and they're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Something I was going to mention as well is Kralax has also been playing amazing this game as well. Always basically around the Xayah to make sure that she can't get dove or damaged too hard. He's always there blocking the hooks with and blocking the damage with his shield, and even beyond that, playing aggressively as well, landing these Qs almost always to make sure that they can proc this passive and get the kills. Has been working out very well. And they also had some great ults. I think Kralax is also having an amazing game that is definitely facilitating Floops to get these massive leads.
Yeah.
Massive leads. Sorry.
Yeah, the concussive blows are very, very strong, particularly when it allows Hellman to be caught out. He's struggling to be able to deal damage. As I mentioned, Vayne is such a short-ranged ADC, and it's very difficult against the Braum, against the Xin Zhao and Riven to actually get into the fight and deal the damage that he wants. I think he's definitely struggling to get in quite as much as he would like.
Yeah, and even when you see Kralax is positioned a lot of the time in front, trying to zone the Vayne away, and even if the Vayne is proccing passive onto him, it doesn't do as much damage as it would do to other people, purely because he has the shield to block up a lot of the damage. As we do see Loftition going in again, once again on Denzel, but Denzel able to use both of the jumps to just able to safely get away, and Vanir maybe looking to try and get more vision around this Baron. Very hotly contested vision in this river right now as Vanir do walk away, the champions of river vision.
Yeah. Interesting to note, obviously Vanguard Edge didn't quite connect because of the jumps from LeBlanc. So that is quite a long cooldown, and it will not be up for quite a while.
Oh, he ulted? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. Loftition, unfortunately, it went wide for him. So, Dragon is up in 30 seconds, Baron obviously still standing. If you were Vanir, which do you want? And I think I probably know your answer anyway, but Cloud Soul or Baron?
See, the thing is, once again, I think Cloud Soul, because although it's like necessarily like, oh, okay, well, it's not the strongest drake, it's still a permanent buff, and even it's kind of hard for Invul to just hand over it, and they aren't. Looks like they're not going to. As Gwen is going to face check into 4 members here, as Elet's not going to land. The ult is started, the needlework is started, as Aurelia has a nice positioning around. Gwen able to jump in, but gets chunked out so heavily. Huge ult landing onto 2 members from Invul, as lots of damage coming out, but Invul is being ripped apart as all the members of Vanir are still alive. It looks like it's going to be a 5-0 ace on the side of Loftition. Tries to pick up 1, but Invul was just torn apart as Gwen's health bar was deleted as they basically face checked into 3 members. Vanir, knowing that Invul were going to come and check this Drake, and easily able to pick up the team fight and not lose anyone on the side of them. And this is a huge sway in the pace of the game.
I mean, I asked you which buff, which do they want to get, and apparently they want both. That is going to be Cloud Soul taken and Baron. And I'm kind of shocked. I thought it was relatively even. Obviously, Vanir was slightly ahead in that fight, but they were definitely just got the right positioning and ripped Invul apart. And the game is now completely Vanir favoured. What was otherwise quite a close game for 25 minutes.
I was honestly very very unsure where a lot of that damage came from. A lot of people have blue effects in this game right now. There's Gwen, Volibear, the LeBlanc skin's blue, the Riven skin's blue, the Xayah skin's blue, and the Thresh skin is blue. A lot of damage came out there, but I think it was Zhao was able to land a lot of damage from the Riven ult that meant that the execute was huge. And something that we didn't really mention before was Vanir have a lot of AoE damage. LeBlanc jumping onto people, Xayah pulling back the feathers, and Riven as well doing cleaving, and the big stun as well means that they're able to easily, when in these small corridors, able to catch a lot of the members of Invul and get the damage onto a lot of them. Which we do see Loftition just make the ult go wide, as we do see a TP come through, but Zhao looks like he's pretty confident in the 2v1 here, as Gorging is going to come out. Gwen chunking a lot of damage down, as Loftition able to get the stun off, and he's able to get the Q on as well, and Gwen's going to be able to get a big shutdown onto the Riven on the top side here, as maybe a bit too confident in that 2v1 and should have just backed off. But either way, Vanira's going to be pushing into this mid lane as an answer. Hook just going to go wide as Young Gale goes in onto Hellman, but Hellman able to effectively get away. But in that time, Xayah just rips apart Mama as he falls under tower there. Oh, big Q landed onto Floops, but huge ult means he's able to get out and pick up the Vayne as well. Aurelia going to be able to finally shut down the Xayah as Aurelia and Gwen are finally here, looking to clean up this fight. Gwen going to be able to pick up Xin Zhao as Braum tries to run away. But Gwen is chasing down. LeBlanc is hiding in this bush as well. Maybe look to see if they can burst someone open. It is going to land the chain. Stopwatch means she's going to be able to get out safely. Aurelia's maybe looking to come back him up, but looks like that both of them might just step away as, you know, decent answer back from Invul after losing Baron and Cloud, meaning that they're able to maybe punish the Vanir overstep, try and dive that tower. But even then, we saw Floops come up massive there with the Xayah ult there, and Denzel able almost fully bursting out the Xayah. The Gwen there as Needlework is used, but it's kind of very dangerous to hang around here as Denzel, once again, if he gets one more spell, you're going to be popped. Yeah.
So much happened there, and I think realistically, Invul, even though they did fantastically there to pick up some big shutdowns, in the fights that they are taking, a lot of them, apart from the two kind of most recent, they are kind of playing into Vanir's hands. Like you mentioned, that Vanir have a lot of AoE, and the small corridors, particularly when you have someone like a Xayah, it is just brutal. The chains and the feathers that come down, rooting everyone in such a small space. You do not want to be fighting in the jungle. You want to be fighting somewhere quite open with this kind of more traditional front to back comp.
Yeah, we're seeing Denzel once again, similar to last game where he was just chilling in the jungle with Invul when they don't have vision and they know they do. Just making it so that anyone that wants to walk into their own jungle is not even safe to, as Denzel able to basically burst up anyone at this point.
Yeah. And quite a significant gold lead at this point, 6k for...
Ooh, Needlework's going to land as there was a trade looking to go on bot, but Denzel, it's countless amount of times this man has taken trades and then burned ults and then just been able to jump out. It's effectively burning Invul's resources and making it so that they can't maybe take these huge fights that they want, because a lot of the time Denzel's bursting one of the members down or making them use their ults to make sure that Invul can't fight at full power in these team fights.
And we talked about how Floop's farm was incredible last game. We talked about it this game, but 383 farm, and it's just only 32 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a 4.5k gold lead as well. It's actually crazy. Every game, both games consistently able to have these massive leads as an ADC. You see this more so maybe in solo lanes where you're in the 1v1, and if you maybe push someone out of lane a bit harder, it's easier for you to pick up the CS and deny them of it. But effectively walking around the map and picking up every little bit of gold that he can to make sure that coming up huge in these team fights and these games. And we saw the fruition of that in these team fights, of the amount of damage that he can output.
4.5 items as well at this point, compared to Vayne on 3. You know, the level of gold that he's on is just incredible. As he's nearly 100 CS above Hellman in the same position.
Yeah, Elder's spawning in about 30 seconds-ish now, so we see maybe both teams positioning around it. Gwen is recalling to deal with the Rhythm. Both do have TP if they need to arrive, as LeBlanc's going to go onto Aurelia, bursting her out once again to about 50% HP. This is what I was mentioning before. Denzel just hanging around in the jungle, making it so that Invul can never really fight at full power, because now if they want to fight, they've got to fight with Aurelia at 50% HP.
Yeah. And something else I want to mention that I only just saw, but Floops is level 17 at this point in the game. He's 2 levels above Hellman. Like, that is immense. 3 people from
He's highest level in the game, level 18 now. Only level 18 is
that is unbelievable, as Elder Dragon is started up by Vanir, and Loftish is half health already. He's going to get chunked out even further. He goes down.
Yeah, this is looking very rough at Invul here, as the Braun ult coming down, I mean, they lock up them as well, and Invul tried to make a play here on the Elder, but were very much split up, and as mentioned before, Denzel able to come in, get the chain, big Xayah ult coming down, able to get a Quadra for the side of Xayah, not able to pick up the Penta, but I'm going to be more than happy with the Quadra, and they're going to look to just end the game here, I think, and Invul just falling apart a bit at the end there. Couldn't get a position in a team fight they ever wanted, as you mentioned. Always felt like they were playing into Vanir's positioning, and very, very well played team fights from Vanir, I think.
And Vanir are about to inflict the first match loss of this season for Invul. They don't care, they don't need minions on these last 2 turrets, and that will be gained. The final turret goes down. Invul are up, but it's too late, and that is 2-0 in the best of 3 for Vanir.